feel like your sweet young child has grown up into this teen that no longer wants to listen to you? You have chores and you have things that you'd like for them to do, but you can't even tell if they've heard you? That you want to talk about all the big things like drinking, drugs, sex, and it's like talking to a wall? Well, in this video, we're going to flip the script on the idea that my teen just doesn't listen to me. Hi, I'm Sharon Rowley from Mom of Six, and welcome to Flip the Script, where I challenge you, my fellow busy moms, to take that script that runs through your head every day saying, I can't even talk to my teen anymore. We're going to turn it around today and give you a new way to think about it. Ah, those teen years. It is such a complicated time in a young person's life. There is so much push and pull going on of trying to figure out who you are, or who you want to be, or impressing upon the world all of your opinions and independence. And then you add to this mix the fact that the most important people in a teen's life are their friends. And that's in terms of shaping how they think and what they want to be doing and where they want to be right now. Now, I know all this firsthand because right now I am parenting 6 teenagers. And while I am far from being a scientific expert on the matter, I can share with you, as a fellow busy mom, my thoughts on teens when it comes to listening to their parents. And it starts with this. Number 1, you gotta say what you have to say. Number 2, you need to set your expectations and the consequences of those expectations, either positive or negative. And number 3, this is a biggie, don't expect a verbal response when you talk. So let me explain. Let's start with the first one. Say what you have to say. When our kids were younger, we knew we had to say things multiple times. Get your shoes on, it's time to go. Get your shoes on, it's time to go. Get your shoes on, it's time to go. And so as parents, we're in the habit of repeating ourselves and basically nagging the younger people in our lives to move things along, which means we've taught our kids how to tune us out the first time around, and the second, and the third. So it's time to change the way we say what we have to say. So many times, as an example, I'll start with a statement, hey, are you listening to me right now? I just want to say this once. And then I follow it with my request. It could be a simple chore. Hey, take out the garbage before you go to bed, okay? Or it could be a longer term request. Like, when you come home, could you please hang up your jacket and put away your shoes? Or it could even be a directive, like, I know you're going out with your friends tonight, so I just want to remind you, in our house there is no drinking and driving, and I will pick you up anywhere at any time. So even if you know you've said it before, you state it again plainly and without any nagging. Now, number 2, I said you set the expectation. So back to the idea of handing out that chore, right? Take out the garbage. I might say something like, I know I'm not going to see this bag down here by the door in the morning, because if I do, I know there won't be any time for me to make breakfast for anybody because I'll have to deal with the garbage. If it's a long-term request, like I told him to hang up his coat and put away his shoes, I might say, I'm going to start gathering up the things that I find laying around here and adding them to our donation pile. And if it's that directive that I gave, the expectation might be just me telling them, look, if you ever get behind the wheel of a car after drinking, that will be the last time you'll have driving privileges in this house. Now, sometimes I'll use humor to get them to listen to me, but sometimes I just state it the way it is. And the biggest thing I want you to take away from this video is don't expect a specific verbal response when you talk to your teen, and definitely don't expect immediate action. I think this as parents is where we get caught up and we want to control the outcome, and that just doesn't work. It's okay to ask them, like just confirming, hey, you heard me, right? And you'll probably get an exasperated, yes, I heard you. But if you're sure that they heard you, don't even ask for the confirmation. You said what you have to say, now move on. Their internal fight for independence isn't going to let them acknowledge that they have to do what you said. And it certainly isn't going to allow them to jump up and get it done right now. That's part of that push and pull. So I think for many of us, this is the point where we feel like, well, we're not being listened to. It's because we have an expectation that we said something and they need to immediately either answer us or get up and do it. We're not getting that immediate gratification and reward. And that's what we have to change as parents. It helps if we expect more teen-typical responses and not allow it to drive us crazy. Finally, we have to remember that it takes dozens, hundreds, even thousands of reminders to do things. And we have to repeat the statements about our values and our expectations just to keep letting them sink in. Like literally, you may ask your child every day for 5 years to take out the garbage. And then someday will come when he's 17 and he just does it without asking. It's because of all of that sinking in. And your communication about your values around drinking and drugs and sex and relationships and how to treat people, all of those things do sink in and they are shaping the person that they're becoming. It just has to fit in with the model that they're creating of how they're going to build their lives. So keep on saying it. Maybe during times when you're not looking at each other face to face, like when you're driving a car, or pick a time when they seem to be in a chatting mood to get their opinion on these values before you dive headfirst into stating yours. This is part of parenting. It's about coaching our kids into adulthood. This is what we signed up for. It's normal, it's expected, and we cannot let it drive us crazy or let it ruin our relationship with these young adults because we can't help ourselves from saying it again and again and nagging and nagging and nagging. Okay, so to recap, flip the script on that feeling like your teen isn't listening to you by adopting the 3 steps of say what you have to say, state the expectation and the consequence, and don't expect a specific verbal or immediate response. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss our next episode of Flip the Script, where I'll be talking about how to stop saying yes to all of those volunteer opportunities that come your way. I will see you soon.